Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to Journals Beyond Horizons. Today we're diving into a different kind of heartbreak, one that doesn't involve legal battles or property disputes, but rather the quiet, emotional devastation of a paternal dream gone wrong. This is Mike's story, a man who, seeking a simple escape on a 2-week vacation, fell victim to a sophisticated fake pregnancy scam that jeopardized not just his bank account, but his very sense of self. It's a tale of a long-distance connection with a Filipina bar girl, a slow descent into a web of deceit, and the gut-wrenching realization that the family he was providing for was a meticulously constructed lie. Here is Mike's story. I've been contemplating on whether I should share the story with you or not, but I've come to a conclusion that I should, and obviously that's why I'm sharing this with you. I think my story is different from the others you've shared and I've heard, and I don't think anyone I've heard anything like this. Let me get into the details on what I would call the pregnancy scam. And I was the victim. For a guy like me, the Philippines was an escape, a 2-week vacation every 6 months to forget about the gray, predictable life back home. I wasn't looking for a wife, a family, or a new life. I just wanted a break, a bit of fun, and some sunshine. I had a routine. I'd fly into Manila, head to Angeles City, and check into the same hotel. And I had a regular. Her name was Jenna. She was not a professional, just a girl who worked in the bars. She was funny, smart, and she never pushed me for much money or make her promises. She just seemed to enjoy the company. Whenever I was in town, all I had to do was send her a text and she'd come to my hotel. We had an easy, no-strings-attached arrangement that suited us both perfectly. Or so I thought. My last 2-week trip was like all the others. Sun, beer, and Jenna's company. We had a great time. She told me about her family in the province and her dreams of one day opening a small business. I listened, nodded, and enjoyed the illusion of connection. It was a pleasant escape, exactly what I was doing in the Philippines. I left for home with no regrets. My bags were packed with souvenirs, my phone was full of pictures, and my mind was already shifting back to the reality of work. It was a good 2 weeks. It all happened a few days after I got back. A message popped up on my phone. It was from Jenna. I smiled, thinking it was a friendly check-in. "Hi, Mike. I miss you. I have some news." I wrote back, "Hey, Jenna. I miss you too. What's up?" Her reply came quickly and the words hit me with the force of a punch. "I am pregnant. It's yours." My heart stopped. My first reaction was disbelief. This couldn't be happening. We had been careful. My pull-out game was strong, but then I remembered the last night. The drinks, the carelessness. A wave of cold dread washed over me. I tried to reason with myself. Maybe she was mistaken. Maybe it wasn't mine. But a part of me, the part that wanted to be a good man, couldn't ignore the possibility. I sent her a frantic series of messages. "Are you sure? How do you know?" She was just calm. She then sent me a picture of a home pregnancy test with a clear, positive result. She had already seen a doctor, she said. I asked her what she was going to do, half hoping she would say she would get an abortion, half hoping she wouldn't. "I am going to keep the baby, Mike," she wrote. "I want to be a mother too." I was in a state of shock. My perfectly planned, simple life was suddenly thrown into a chaotic, terrifying unknown. I wasn't a young man. The idea of being a father at my age from a one-night stand halfway across the world was completely overwhelming. But as a man who prided himself on his integrity, I knew what I had to do. I couldn't abandon her. I couldn't abandon my child. I had to be a man and a father. I sent her a message back. "Okay, Jenna, I will take care of you and the baby. Tell me what you need." The turbulence of my life had just opened, and I had willingly stepped inside. My initial shock eventually gave way to a strange sense of purpose. I was going to be a father. It was a terrifying thought, but also a humbling one. My life had a new meaning, a new direction. Jenna and I started a new kind of relationship. Our conversations were no longer about what we did last night or what bars we liked. They were about sonograms, doctor's visits, and her growing belly. She started sending me pictures. At first, they were just of her, smiling, her hand resting on a slowly expanding stomach. She looked happy, healthy. I felt a swell of pride. I had done the right thing. Then the pictures of the baby started coming. Beautiful, tiny hands and feet. A little face with eyes squeezed shut. I'd save every single one, creating a folder on my computer. I'd stare at them for hours, imagining what the child would be like. He was my child, my flesh and blood, a miniature version of me thousands of miles away. It filled a void I hadn't even known was there. The money requests came naturally. Jenna was pregnant and couldn't work at the bar anymore. Her parents relied on her income. So I started sending money. Hundreds of thousands that turned into thousands of dollars after calculating all I'd sent total from the beginning of the scam. It was for the baby's checkups, for her prenatal vitamins, for food for her family. The requests were always framed as a necessity, and I, the father, was the provider. I felt a duty, a responsibility. I wasn't just a good man. I was a provider for an entire family. It felt good. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months. I saw the baby's first tooth, his first shaky steps, and his first birthday. Jenna sent me a video of him taking a cake smash, his face covered in icing, laughing. My heart melted. I'd show the pictures to my friends, telling them, "That's my son." They'd look at me with a mix of surprise and admiration. I was living a double life, a simple life at home, and a secret, fulfilling life as a father in the Philippines. Over a year and 2 months passed like this. We talked almost every day. I was so invested. I had sent her thousands upon thousands of dollars. The baby, whom I called Leo in my head, was my world. I longed to hold him, to kiss his forehead, to be a real, physical father. The video calls were great, but they weren't enough. I missed them. I wanted to surprise them, to see their faces when I walked through the door. I wanted to see my son for the first time in person. I booked a flight. This time, I didn't tell Jenna. I didn't want her to prepare anything, to clean the house or make a fuss. I just wanted to show up, to be a dad, to finally be with my family. I had this picture in my mind of her opening the door, a look of shock and joy on her face, and Leo toddling towards me. I was going to be the hero, the man who showed up, the man who was there for his child. I was ready to step out of the shadows and into my new life, but I had no idea that I was the one about to be surprised. The journey from the airport to her village felt like a pilgrimage. Every bump in the road, every flash of rice paddies and roadside shacks was bringing me closer to the son I had been raising from afar. I clutched the colorful toys I'd bought for him, a ridiculous grin plastered on my face. I pictured him, the boy from the photos and videos, running into my arms. This was it. This was what I had been working for, saving for. This was my life now. I found her house easily enough, nestled in a row of simple homes. I knocked on the door, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. The door creaked open, and there was Jenna. She looked exactly as she did in the pictures, but something was off. Her smile wasn't there. Her eyes widened, a look of pure terror replacing any hint of joy. "Mike, what are you doing here?" Exactly what she said, pushing the door a little further closed. "I wanted to surprise you and our son," I said, my voice too loud, too cheerful for the tense silence that had fallen. "Where is he? Leo?" She didn't answer. She just looked at me, her face pale, and then she let out a long, shuddering sigh. The silence was deafening. It was then that I noticed the house was unnaturally quiet. There was no sound of a child, no toys on the floor, no evidence of a 1-year-old boy. My blood ran cold. The dread I had felt over a year ago came back with a vengeance, but this time it was a paralyzing, soul-crushing weight. I pushed past her and stepped inside. The house was spotless, a single room with a small kitchen area. There was no crib, no baby clothes, no messy evidence of a child's existence. Jenna, where is my son? My voice was a low growl, unrecognizable even to myself. She led me to a small bench and sat me down. She looked at the floor, unable to meet my eyes. The confession was a slow, painful unraveling. She admitted that the pregnancy was real at first. She was scared. She didn't want the baby, didn't want the responsibility. Her family relied on her and never believed I would have actually took care of her. She thought I would stop maybe after the first or third payment. So she got an abortion when she was just starting to show, right around the time I would have been expecting a baby bump. But she knew that if she told me, the money would stop. So she lied. The pictures she sent me weren't of our child. They were of her neighbor's baby. She had a network of friends who helped her take the photos and videos, and she learned to crop them to avoid exposing her lie. The details didn't matter. It was the complete betrayal, the utter lack of a child that was slowly breaking me. All the hopes, the dreams, the money, the months of conversations about the our son bullshit, all of it was a meticulously constructed lie. I had been a pawn in her game. She looked at me, tears streaming down her face. I am so sorry, Mike. I can't give the money back. It's all gone. I used it to take care of my family and myself. But I can make it up to you. You can call you whenever you're in the Philippines. I'll sleep with you for free. You don't have to pay. I just stared at her. The offer was so insulting, so transactional. It was a new kind of cruelty. The entire relationship, every part of it, had been a transaction. It was a scam from the very start. I just nodded slowly, got up, and walked out the door without a word. The whole world went quiet from that moment, and all I could hear was the hollow echo of a truth that was hard to swallow. Some people are willing to go to crazy lengths for money, and I had been a fool, a willing participant in my own heartbreak, all for the gilded cradle of a child that never was. I hope you share my story too soon, and I'll urge everyone that will listen to my story to be very careful out there.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing content.